Yo, it's Star Television, and this is the National News Bulletin. I am Leonora Jawara. First, let's begin with the top stories. 39 companies are currently enlisted for court action by the Local Content Policy Agency due to non-compliance of the local content policy, according to the Director General of the agency, Fodiba Dabo.
The local content plan is a plan that is indicative of the fact that if you establish your complaint here, we as an agency is interested to know what plan do you have in ensuring Sierra Leoneans are given first consideration in terms of your employment, in terms of skills training, capacity building, and as well as procurement tendering processes.
A 16-man-power delegation from the Gambia security sector has wrapped up their visits at a ceremony organized by the Office of National Security in Freetown.
You are highly impressed by our way of doing things, which you gladly show to people out there in Kenya. You appraise them that they are doing well, and you actually acknowledge the fact that our system is working. And you appreciate that you also go out there in our country to serve that you can implement similar culture.
The Financial Intelligence Unit has entered into a memorandum of understanding with Chadi to enhance in the fight against money laundering and financing of terrorism.
Without the mandate to prosecute, you rely on other entities to use your intelligence. Therefore, for you to be effective, you need to collaborate with other entities. And that's the reason when I assumed office early this year in March, I thought it wise that we have to work with other entities, not only government institutions, but as well as the non-governmental organizations, civil.
President Julius Madabiu has officially commissioned a newly constructed 16-classroom building at the Services Secondary School in Freetown.
Today, this newly constructed comprehensive primary school is an evidence of a community, a group of Sierra Leoneans, and a member of the parliament heeding the call for all Sierra Leoneans to support the free quality education program.
As a way of complementing the free quality education and ensure that the transformed Freetown education sector targets are met, the Freetown City Council on Saturday, 15 September, conducted a test ride on the 12 school buses in a bid to let drivers familiar with the applying routes.
All authorities will first be required to meet the stipulated minimum standards before being allowed to set up higher standards than the minimum standards. The first set of minimum standards targets are ready and will be distributed to the various councils through their leadership.
The head of the Drivers Union Southern Region, Francis Pakisson, fondly called Yellow Man, has called on the National Executive of the Drivers Union to reconcile their differences and work in the interest of the union members.
The present president we don't come over, it's right for reinstate me back, but still the thing not come to 1-8 because the union gets some. All the people that already run the union, I like them because they do well for the union. But now the problem is our method set to here, make confusion no day, because this all bring confusion between people there.
And in sports, the world governing body FIFA has officially started disciplinary proceedings against the Sierra Leone Football Association after the Liberia Football Association filed official complaint to FIFA.
Principally issues bordering around the provision of security and things like that. But we see all of those as false allegations basically, and we also see it as highly deceptive from the side of the Liberian Football Federation.
All this making the headlines. And now the news in detail. The Director General of the Local Content Policy Agency, Fodiba Dabo, has said 39 companies are currently enlisted for court action by the agency due to non-compliance of the local content policy. He made this disclosure during an engagement with media practitioners and journalists on Friday, 13 September 2019. Julie Smart has more.
The Director General of the Sierra Leone Local Content Policy Agency, Fodiba Dabo, said that in order for local entrepreneurs to thrive, they have to eliminate the cultural barriers between the local entrepreneurs and foreign investors, and the collaboration between ILO and CIRCA is geared towards addressing stakeholders for a mutual understanding. He intimated that the government's development project objectives are focused on supporting the private sector in Sierra Leone, which is considered to be the engine for economic growth and its overall economic development. Mr. Fodiba Dabo revealed that 39 companies are currently enlisted for court action by the agency due to non-compliance of the policy, adding that creative cooperation between the public and private sectors is accelerating the pace of meaningful change, where no single entity or group can carry the weight alone.
Like I said earlier, the local content plan is a plan that is indicative of the fact that if you establish your company here, we as an agency is interested to know what plan do you have in ensuring Sierra Leoneans are given first consideration in terms of your employment, in terms of skills training, capacity building, and as well as procurement tendering processes. Because for many reasons, procurement is huge. I'm always saying this. Local content is not only about goods. The service end, as a matter of fact, is where the premium must be placed. We were interested in knowing, in terms of your procurement, how often are you procuring from our local produce goods and services here as opposed to overseas? So that's what this plan is about. We are obligated by law to receive that plan, review and approve, and issue certificate of authorization that gives you the authority to operate in this country in the first place. Well, I don't know. It could be all of the above. It could mean maybe they just want to test the leadership of this country. They want to test the leadership of the local content agency. It could mean because maybe they have something to hide that they don't want to report, because that's what this local content plan seeks to achieve. We need to know what plan do you have in terms of employment, what plan do you have in terms of capacity development, what plan do you have in terms of procurement tender processes. So we need to know, and the plan, we as an agency have clear targets that we need to set. If the target is about, you have to ensure 50% of Sierra Leoneans serves at the managerial level. We need to ensure, in terms of succession plan, when you're here with your expatriates, we need to make sure Sierra Leoneans understudy them. That is, in 5 years, our indigenous Sierra Leoneans should take over from the expat. So we need to know, in terms of procurement tendering processes, award of contracts, bidding processes, are you following the law as prescribed in local content? So that's what this plan is about. If you're not giving us a plan, then it tells us you have something to hide, and it's like going against the constitution of this country. As a matter of fact, they're already in breach, because this was something they could have done since March. They failed to do so. So that's why the letter that went out stated breach of the Local Content Act. So they will be fined, they will be prosecuted, and they could run the risk of their operations being shut down in this country.
Local content policies in the oil and gas sector, according to the Director General for the Badabo, aims to encourage the participation and development of domestic industries and labor, as well as to support the transferring of technology and capital, noting that local content rules are seen as a promising way of promoting social and economic development in resource-rich countries. Mr. Dabo further noted that through wide-ranging legal and policy reform, the government seeks to create an environment that promotes the development of the private sector. He said the rationale of the local content policy is necessary to ensure that there is sufficient linkages between the local economy and the foreign enterprise by setting specific performance requirements. The small-medium enterprise can contribute to direct and indirect employment when the right thing is done. For Star TV News, Judah Smart reporting.
The Office of National Security, ONS, on Friday, 13 September, held a closing ceremony for the visiting 16-man-power delegation from the Gambian security sector at their conference hall, Tower Hill in Freetown. Yesi Hallowell takes up the story.
The 16 high-power delegation of Gambian government officials to Sierra Leone comprises of members from different institutions in the Gambia. It involved members from the armed forces, immigration, the fire force, anti-drugs officials, and so much more. The aim of their visit was to look into Sierra Leone's security and justice reform programs after the civil war to its present structure. While making a statement, the National Security Coordinator, retired Brigadier General John Jatoka, said the Office of National Security is happy that Sierra Leone was chosen as a case study.
In life is that the experience you gather when you are sent out to your institutions, various institutions around the country, to interact with them and chat with them and see how they went across with their own security sector reform program, what it looks like to them. I know you've learned a lot from that part of also. And one thing I want to appreciate so much that's coming from you is you are highly impressed by our way of doing things, which you gladly show to people out there in Makeni. You appraise them that they are doing well, and you actually acknowledge the fact that our system is working. And you appreciate that you also go out there in our country to see how best you can implement similar structure. The most important thing also is that you have also indicated that you'll be looking forward to our own collaborative efforts to support your process, which we appreciate. And I believe my colleagues here, that part, also want to be inside of part of you to do your system, to work to it.
The head of the Gambian delegation in his statement said they have learned so much from their visit to Sierra Leone, which will help them review their own security reforms.
To give me this opportunity to give the feedback since our arrival here. Unfortunately, as we all know, the National Security Advisor is back in the Gambia for other special important duties. As a result, I just stepped in to be doing his duties. Just in a way that the head of the national security, who is no other person other than the retired Brigadier General Toka, has shown us the commitment that he has for his country. All along these meetings, he will be at the forefront. When we arrived, we were given opportunity to meet His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone. I think that's a good sign and good example for the cordial relationship between the Gambia and Sierra Leone.
Another member of the delegation gave a few comparisons of the reforms that are ongoing in the Gambia compared to what they have learned in Sierra Leone.
So for me, what I have seen here is extraordinary. It's something that we will definitely look into it. And this does not go without a lot of reform that have taken place here. This is not only about security. It's about having institutions with the right competencies and the right commitments. and we have seen that in Sierra Leone here. I have had interactions with people in the office of the president. Above all, the highest commitment you can have is the leadership. When the leaders live above expectations, above board, where they don't entertain any unnecessary undue favors, you can be less of a justice institution and a justice society. And we want to commend you that you are doing great, and we want to encourage you to continue to do that.
Various speakers made meaningful contributions to the occasion. The presentation of gift formed part of the program. Reporting for Star News, I am Yessi Hallowell.
The Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, as on Monday, September 16th, entered into a memorandum of understanding with Chadi to enhance in the fight against money laundering and financing of terrorism. The Director General, FIU, Mohammed Kinawa Kone, described the MOU as strategic in complementing efforts of the government to address accompanied challenges in money laundering and terrorist financing. My colleague Abdulrahman Kamara spoke to the director on the importance of those franchise with key institutions in this interview.
First, I think I need to give you background of the FIU status. FIU Sierra Leone was established kind of administrative state with administrative status to coordinate the activities, the state's financial fight against financial crimes, money laundering, and the financing of terrorism. And therefore, with that type of status, without the mandate to investigate, without the mandate to prosecute, you rely on other entities to use your intelligence. Therefore, you need, for you to be effective, you need to collaborate with other entities. And that's the reason when I assumed office early this year in March, I thought it wise that we have to work with other entities, not only government institutions, but as well as the non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, to ensure that we effectively coordinate the state's program. So what we did was to kind of restructure the operational procedures, the individuals, and we can all see that everybody in the organization is very much keen to provide results, to show their potentials, and therefore, with regard to the public as well collaboration, we just concluded the on-site examination of the GIABA mutual evaluation process of the country's money laundering systems, where the initial indication based on their initial findings that they were able to appreciate the collaborative effort of the FIU and the networking with other institutions to provide the relevant information. The entirety results, we cannot comment on that because they are still drafting the reports, but with regard to cooperation and coordination, that was a big success as far as that is concerned. So the results of our new approach, which is the cooperation, collaboration, and enforcement, we've started seeing positive results. And we are hopeful that we can get the country on board to get to know about what we are doing, to get to be involved in our activities.
Look at money laundering and terrorism financing. In the anti-money laundering regime in Sierra Leone, we sit at the center of the table. I mean, when I say we, I mean the FIU sits at the center. We serve as a bulwark between law enforcement and reporting entities on the other hand. By reporting entities, I mean reporting entities in the financial sector, for example, the banks, the finance houses, the foreign exchange bureaus, and in the non-financial businesses and professions. I'll start with our profession, the law profession, accountant.
You're still watching the news bulletin here on Star TV. Now, as a way of complementing the free quality education and ensure that the Transom Freetown education sector targets are met, the Freetown City Council has on Saturday, 15 September, conducted a test ride on the 12 school buses in a bid to let drivers familiar with the applying routes. Moses Ojo Kamara takes up the story.
The bus system will start this week on Thursday, the 19th of September.
While speaking in an interview, the mayor of Freetown, Yvonne Akisoya, said that the test exercise is a display of proper planning to avert any glitch in the system, therefore ensure the smooth running of the buses.
It will not start on Monday because we've not had enough time to be sure of the routes, to practice with the drivers, and to do some very important analysis to determine what the bus fare will be. Number 3, the bus fare is on a cost recovery basis. The government is not giving the councils money to pay for the buses, so the buses must pay for themselves, as we do not have any subvention that can go towards this. And the councils are therefore, as us, Freetown City Council, is therefore doing an analysis over the next couple of days to be able to sensibly set the bus fare. But let me assure everyone, it is on a cost recovery basis, and we'll ensure that the cost is as low as possible, because we want the children, all children, to be able to benefit. It will not be higher than the commercial alternative, that is for sure.
Madam Sawyer went on to reveal that they have developed an application to track the movement of the bus drivers that will be available to the students to know the bus's location as they ply their routes. The mayor of Freetown concluded by saying, the buses are meant for all school-going children in the municipality and not for teachers, workers, or security forces.
This is a system which will support all school children, but only school children. We don't want teachers. I'm afraid we can't have the teachers on the buses. We don't have enough space. We can't have any security forces. That conversation came up, and the security forces are all here. They've made it clear they will not be doing that. So there is no excuse. And children, you keep an eye. Everybody must pay their ticket. We are introducing a barcoded ticket system. Your tickets will be scanned on the bus. If you see anybody trying to make deals with any drivers, you need to let us know. And the same goes when it comes to where the buses are supposed to be and when they are supposed to be parked. This will be in the public domain. We are all each other's keepers.
Reporting for Star News, I am Moses Oju Kamara.
Still with education, His Excellency the President, Julius Maada Bio, has officially commissioned a newly constructed 16-classroom building at the Services Secondary School in Freetown. Judge Elliot Sam has more and in our reports.
While giving out his keynote address, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Dr. Retired Brigadier Julius Maada Bio, said the education facility, which have been provided through the efforts of the Honorable Member of Parliament, Ibrahim Tawa Conte, for both Juba and the No. 9 community, will address the long suffering of parents and that of the children who have been deprived for so long of quality education. The President further admonished the beneficiaries to take good care of the facilities.
Today, this newly constructed comprehensive primary school is an evidence of a community, a group of Sierra Leoneans, and a member of the Parliament heeding the call for all Sierra Leoneans to support the free quality education program. From a makeshift corrugated iron sheet structure to a multi-story building with 15 classrooms fully packed with furniture, head teacher's office, 2 stores, this newly constructed school will increase access to education for more children in No. 9 community, Spur Road, Babaduri, Pipeline, Jagema, Freetown Road, and Lower Spur Road. Despite our commitment to free quality education, the use of examination malpractice that I've already referred to has triggered a national debate in this country, bringing about our educational system into disrepute. Parents, teachers, and pupils all have responsibility to ensure we curb examination malpractice. Parents who give money to their children to engage in examination malpractice are as guilty as teachers who receive such monies to aid examination practice and pupils who participate in malpractice. Examination malpractice destroys the soul of our educational system, and we must all support the current effort by the Anti-Corruption Commission to ensure all those involved in the examination malpractice stop forthwith. However, those efforts by the Anti-Corruption Commission must be within the law and adhere to due process and respect for human rights. As immediate steps to address examination malpractice, I wish to announce the following. First, all those caught or suspected of examination malpractice should be prosecuted without delay or exemption. Second, any teacher or school head caught and prosecuted should be terminated from service. Third, all centers suspected of examination malpractice should have their results cancelled. Under this government, examination malpractice will no longer be a way of life for parents and pupils across the country. A successful 2018-2019 academic year is now our singular, and it's now my singular honor, ladies and gentlemen, to commission this beautiful edifice, provided by no less a person but your talk and do Honorable Member of Parliament, I hope many other members of the Parliament will emulate this great initiative of Honorable Tawal. Thank you, and I wish you the best, and I hope you will use this for the benefit of the community.
The Honorable Member of Parliament of Constituency 132, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, while addressing the gathering, said, personally, as an individual, whenever he made a promise, he will make sure that he delivered it. And that is what he has demonstrated to the people of both Juba and the number 9 community by providing them well-standard learning facilities, which he said will increase the level of education in the community.
During the electioneering campaign, Your Excellency, I took a solemn vow that when elected, I would transform the defunct C-class school building that was only fixed to be a piggery used for the provision of education for poor children in these communities aforementioned. That same building was holding classes 1 to 6, serving as a community school will be reconstructed with befitting standards, correct ambience, and seek for the dispensation of education and learning. Also, Your Excellency, during the election campaign, the most familiar of the SNPP manifesto was and still remains the free quality education. On the backdrop of the facility existing in this community, serving 2 other communities as community-owned low-income private school, I see no way where the poor children of these communities will benefit from the free quality education of His Excellency the President.
Also addressing the gathering, the Deputy Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Honorable Emil Kadiatu Groga, praises the Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte for complementing the efforts of the President and that of their ministry on the free and quality education. She also called on the beneficiaries to make good use of the facility.
Your relentless efforts to construct these magnificent structures is worth noting. And as I said, what emulating. You have joined our dear President and our Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education to prepare our young people to meet future challenges. Thank you.
For Star News in Freetown, George Elliott Sam reporting.
Now, the head of the Drivers Union Southern Region, Francis Parkinson, fondly called Yellow Man, has called on the National Executive of the Drivers Union to reconcile their differences and work in the interest of the union members. He spoke to my colleague Abdul Rahman Kamara, who was on a one-day visit to the township of Bo in this interview.
As part of Real Waka, I come Abotong to sign the bond.
Yes.
And I don't know Yellow Man for well over 20-something years.
Yes.
These are we own big brothers in our boat song.
Yes.
You understand? For all they go school, yellow man on the na this parking ground. It help passengers them. It look for passenger welfare, not so?
Yes.
Yellow man, you go tell people and what's your real name?
Mr. Francis Parkinson.
Francis Parkinson.
Yeah, commonly known as Yellow Man.
Yellow man.
Yes. But now, I don't think, I mean, almost from 1978, I don't get 1978. I don't get driving license, and all my life, where I start with, where I come out school, I drive. I mean, make the parking ground civilized because a union been there run, but they're not been there under control. But when me come on board, as a man we go school, I put the union under control. So I start the park as a driver's union, but I don't only park over 20 years. But when SLPP come on board, the man where they in charge, now he dish me out, he say, because being an SLPP man. So he pulled me. He don't pull me 10 years ago. But when SLPP don't come on board back, the present president we don't come over, it's try for reinstate me back. But still the thing not come to 1-8 because the union gets some. All the people that already run the union, I like them because they do well for the union. But now the problem is, I want to settle here, make confusion no day, because this all bring confusion between people. Then, whether also they make so that they make so, it will be say peace not go in at the party. The drivers are not going to unite. But now, if government don't come inside, where they don't do election, let them bring peace between the people, the two people that where they make, say this not win, me win, maybe peace, maybe one word, so that the drivers that will get stable time. So my opinion is, I want the parking ground steady.
Now you call this to government?
Yes, I mean call this to government.
So the question when they say passenger and property they lost at the parking ground,
well,
it's very common again?
Not common again because the park then
we get structures.
To get structures.
They will get control.
Yes, and we not allow other people there for can run the parking ground. Okay. Only drivers we don't lost job, we not get job that they will allow for car assist, then company driver there, so that they will get their surviving at the end of the day. So I'm going to union revenue in case of driver get any problem. So the constraints, the constraint is where government puts on the union. May put that under control, like the president of drivers, may tell and say the parking ground for be united. May if not, they will not allow bad man them. Now only drivers that they allow at the park.
As part of we start television, what kind of town? I come with a group of young people, very dynamic way, they strive for their survival. And among them, most of them, I'm sure, not drivers. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are right,
I choose somebody else for actually talk to Nabutoya for actually know some of the challenges I want to get inside this parking road. You can able to tell family them and tell people that who are you?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
Me na Samuel, sir.
Samuel Wilson.
Samuel Kittel, sir.
What's your profession?
Me na driver, sir.
Samuel, you don't drive. How many years you don't drive for?
I don't drive next to 15 years ago, sir.
15 years?
Yes, sir.
What you see actually in driving?
So the driving, what we don't get it drive. As for me, I don't begin it drive. As a youth man, what I will plan myself. And not see for me surviving. And not see if there is no achievement is for me. Get me? I don't begin it drive. Then at the end of the line, I see me come to youth man there, who all day survive with some man back. Now the driving there, when a professional driver there, they get that driving license there. All day drive, we at the highway. But when they see the thing where they go on, there is no better thing as for we. Because we as a driver, professional drivers, we go with driving license. We forget job facility, what we able to do. But now, the country, we able to get no work. Some of we boss man, they go motor car for all can fail survive then. They be away after us, they be away for car watch, I the motor car, I the manual loan at the park, I the go, I the car. You see,
so in other words, this profession not profitable at all for you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now.
Not profitable.
Yes, sir.
So you don't choose for the other thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No,
Ask for me.
Choose for the other thing.
I don't
driving.
Pass driving, sir. Pass driving. I don't choose for do other thing. Pass driving because me as a professional driver and I driving what me do.
So what do you want to make government actually do?
Me want let government actually do as also for me one now. Me compete and they let government able assist you. We able get job facility and the country able help we as a driver.
You talk something? Yes, sir. Yeah, what you say?
Well, I did try for some government for cow, NGO companies there, mining companies there, where they employ drivers.
Drivers,
that
yes.
Make we go attach a little bit. This idleness, we don't have people, they
allow
passenger, that, make
yeah.
better work for
better work.
And that's how we see no more.
Anybody get any other thing for say?
And to round up our news bulletin, let's now turn attention to sport as the world governing body FIFA has officially started disciplinary proceedings against the Sierra Leone Football Association after the Liberia Football Association filed official complaints to FIFA. Our sports correspondent Hilton John has all the details.
Hello everyone, welcome for today's sporting news. We start with local team. The world governing body FIFA has sent in a letter to the Sierra Leone Football Association that the disciplinary committee will investigate an issue filed in by the Liberia Football Association to FIFA complaining one or two misconducts from the point of Sierra Leone and also officials in the Football Association. Ibrahim Kamara is the public relations officer of the Sierra Leone Football Association. He explained more or he responds to the latest development from the point of the Football Association, being that the world governing body sent in this letter. Here is the report.
The world governing body FIFA has sent in a letter of notification of disciplinary proceedings against the Sierra Leone Football Association sent in by the Liberia Football Association. Sierra Leone national team Lone Stars play against Lone Stars of Liberia in the ongoing 2022 World Cup at the Samekedo Stadium, the first leg, and the second leg at the Shaker Stevens Stadium. In aggregate, Liberia Lone Stars succeeded against Sierra Leone national team. Despite the result, Liberia Football Association sent in a report to the world governing body. According to the world governing body, FIFA, in the letter sent in to the Sierra Leone Football Association, in the view of the forthcoming in accordance with Article 52 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, we are hereby opening disciplinary proceedings against the Sierra Leone Football Association for the potential breach of the following provisions. Article 16 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code 2019 edition order the security of the match. Furthermore, we wish to inform you that the matter will be referred to the meeting of disciplinary committee on the 30th of September 2019, according to a correspondence sent in by the world governing body to the Sierra Leone Football Association. From the part of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Public Relations Officer of the FA, Ibrahim Kamara, responds to the letter sent in by the world governing body to Star Sports.
Well, basically, we've been asked to present our own side of the story because the letter that came from FIFA is basically as a result of a complaint, that was filed to them by the Liberian Football Federation, in which they claim, that we breached, a few issues actually in the regulations, principally issues bordering around the provision of security and things like that. But we see all of those as false allegations basically, and we also see it as highly deceptive from the side of the Liberian Football Federation. But FIFA being the world governing body, if a complaint comes into them from one federation against the other, obviously they'll have to turn to the other federation requesting for another side of the story, the second side of the story. So now we've been requested to present our own case in terms of clarifying the claims and the allegations made by the Liberian Football Federation. So we've done that. We've put all of that together, basically, to provide evidences and provide facts, you know, to FIFA to get them to understand that all of what has been sent to them by the Liberian Football Federation is nothing, you know, it's not true basically. So we've sent in our position, we've sent in our own clarifications, we've done our submission, you know, which is backed by video evidences, photo evidences, and all of that. So we've sent that to FIFA. We're just waiting for, you know, the final decision to come.
In this respect, the aforementioned party is invited to provide the Secretariat of FIFA Disciplinary Committee with its position, with 6 days of the notification of this communication at the latest, according to the world governing body. For Star Sports in Freetown, I am Elton John reporting. The hearing will be on the 30th of September 2019. We hope to get the latest from the points of the world governing body. Mahmoud FC have become champions in the first edition of the national female competition. 32 teams competed in BCS competition. Mahmoud FC played against the Sierra Leone Police at the community playing ground in Kenema. Despite a good performance from the Sierra Leone Police female team, but they were defeated by a goal to nil. Here's the highlights of the match.
You been expecting you to score?
Yes, I've been expecting that because the first leg I scored,
What's your impression about the competition?
Well, the competition, I feel so good because I'm the first tennis for play for FC Mahmoud and we are unbeatable and I be the highest goal scorer for the competition.
So what next for the competition, or what next for Una as a football team?
Well, actually, we will pray to the government to make another powerful league. We're going to make all the female players in the country go involved. Then we back display with talent.
You go continue for play for Mahmoud FC?
Well, actually, yes. For now, I will continue for play for them.
Or you get planned for sign for another club?
No, I will play for Mahmoud FC.
Don't just expect that. One single carry the day. But we still talk, get the courage. Not lose up, still get courage. So now it's going to happen.
Why do you think say Mahmoud FC beat the team 3 times in the competition?
Just now football, it happen. But you got to expect that. Never the time you set the time. Just that number, them carry the day for the next day. So it's still strong. Never mind the couple goal, but still strong.
So what next for the team? Arsenal lost the final.
They prepare. I'm not saying I'm Mahmoud FC. They edge up this team. So they prepare. Now they promise say no ever beat you again.
Congratulations to Mahmoud FC. Better luck next time to the Sierra Leone Police. This is a big lesson for the Sierra Leone Police female team. They need to work very hard so that they will be triumphant against Mahmoud Football Club. Coming up on Tuesday is the kickstart of the Champions League. Chelsea Football Club will play against Valencia. Over the weekend, we saw good performance from Chelsea after they succeeded 5-2 against Wolverhampton. So yet to see whether Chelsea will be the victor in the match against Valencia in the Champions League, and Juventus will be coming up on Wednesday. That's all for sport.
Well, that's the Star News here on Channel 21. Thank you so very much for watching. I am Leonora Jawara. Do stay with us if you can.